As you enter the Iowa State Capitol Rotunda, you will see these 8 lunettes, or half-moon-shaped paintings. These are the work of Kenyon Cox, a famous 19th century American artist. The paintings are allegorical and represent the progress of civilization. In 1886, when the construction of the Capitol was completed, the Capitol Commission did not receive the funding necessary to decorate the public spaces. Here, you see the semicircular spaces empty that now occupy the lunettes. It wasn't until almost 20 years later that a Capital Improvement Commission was created, and part of their work was to oversee the decoration of the public areas. The commission relied on prominent artists of the day to help plan and execute what types of decoration should be placed throughout the Capitol. Frederick Dielman was president of the National Academy of Design at that time, and he suggested that the semicircular spaces over the great columns of the rotunda should be filled with pictorial subjects. On account of their distance, he thought, the composition of these subjects should be large and simple, with figures of heroic size. The commission chose Kenyon Cox to paint the 8 lunettes that occupy these semicircular spaces. Kenyon Cox, wanting to be part of what he believed to be a second renaissance in art, moved to Paris in 1877. In 1882, Cox moved back to New York and started a career teaching art. He continued to paint and began to focus more on mural painting after the 1893 Columbian Exposition in Chicago. In 1896, Cox painted murals in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. Cox's art was very different from the other styles of the day. He frequently used allegory and symbolism to present his ideas. He idolized nudes and traditional treatment of classical themes. In 1905, Kenyon Cox was paid $8,000 to create the 8 7-foot by 12-foot murals. They illustrate the progress of civilization and begin to the right of the entrance of the library and continue from left to right around the rotunda, beginning with hunting. Hunting shows a primitive man holding a lance in his hand and a quiver of arrows on his back. Here we see a dead wild goose that shows his success in hunting. Herding shows a herdsman holding the panpipes. Here we see his staff, and a cow and a swine are in the distance. This is Ceres, the Roman goddess of agriculture. The painting shows cornfields, a wheat sheaf, and the woman wears a crown of oats. This was to illustrate that more than one type of crop is produced in the state. As civilization progresses, we enter the industrial age. This young man sits before a rustic forge. He is studying a drawing that's pinned to the board. Commerce is a female figure holding a caduceus of Mercury, the god of trade. The child is symbolic of the genius of transportation. What is interesting is that Kenyon Cox's daughter was the model for the child in this painting. She stated she never could understand why her father painted her as a boy. Education shows a mother teaching her child to read from a book. Science shows how civilization progressed to intellectual thought. In this painting, we have the lamp of truth burning brightly. In the left corner is a globe illustrating the worldwide nature of science. And here we see a pile of books that symbolize the records of the past. The man is shown in a thinking position, described as brooding contemplation. The progress of civilization ends with the highest form of civilization in all ages, art. Here we have a violoncello, which stands for music. This is a palette and brushes for painting, and this building with the statues represents architecture and sculpture. These are said to be the four greatest of the fine arts. The woman is holding a mirror in her hand that reflects the light of the day. In 2007, during restoration of the interior of the building, restoration occurred on the Lunettes as well. All of the paintings were cleaned and repaired. This photo of the painting art shows the temporary removal of a section of the canvas. Art required the most extensive treatment. The plaster of the wall behind the painting had water damage, which required removal and treatment of the canvas and the wall. Visitors are welcome to the Iowa State Capitol to view the Rotunda Lunettes by Kenyon Cox and the many other displays throughout the building.